Today, I'm going to list the top 5 reasons not to upgrade your speakers, not to buy new speakers. And this really came about because I just reviewed the ELAC Unify reference speaker, and I really loved it. And so did Cheap Audio Man, and so did Joe and Tell. And I'm looking over the comments on all 3 channels, and they took a very similar tone, which is something along the lines of, hey, I already have ELAC UB52s and I really like them, but is this speaker that much better? Should I upgrade to that? Or I recently bought the ELAC debut reference. Is this that much better? You know? Or I have KEF LS50s, or I have this or that. Should I jump to this? And the answer is probably not. As much as I love the Unify reference, well, just because there's a faster car, doesn't mean you have to get it, right? Just because there's something better, that's not reason to abandon what you already have. But there seems to be this compulsion among a lot of audiophiles to do that, to constantly be looking for this next thing. And then some of the comments were sort of angry, like, how dare you? How could this new thing be better? I just got this other thing. Now you're telling me I have to buy this new thing? And I don't think the 3 of us were telling anybody to buy anything. We were talking about what we experienced with the Unify reference. If you took that as some sort of a command to go and buy this speaker, well, that's clearly, it certainly wasn't the case for me, and I don't think for Joe and Tell and Cheap Audio Man. So anyway, I was inspired to do this don't upgrade your speakers right now, top 5 list. But before I get to that, I just want to say I'm going to introduce a new feature in today's episode, and that is the audiophiliac viewer of the day to see their system. Now, I've run these slideshows of many systems, but this is going to be not in every episode, but I'm going to pick one that I really like and just talk about it at the end of the episode. So stay tuned for that. So now I'm going to do the top 5 reasons not to upgrade or buy new speakers. And starting with number 5, well, this is easy. You recently bought new speakers. If you recently bought new speakers and you are basically happy with them, stop. Maybe you should stop reading reviews or watching speaker reviews on YouTube. Just enjoy what you have, assuming you're happy with it, right? But yeah, there's always another thing. Doesn't mean you have to react to it or buy on it or pounce on it or anything. There's this hair trigger response. It seems a lot of audiophiles or audio enthusiasts have, that they need to get this next thing. No, you don't. There's always another thing. You'd be in constant upgrade mode if you're doing that, and maybe some of you are. And if you fit that category of hearing about something that just sort of tickles your fancy and it's gotten a lot of good reviews and you think, yeah, I should get those, please don't. Please don't. Don't do that. That's number 5. Number 4, which is simply this: you can't afford new speakers right now. Or just put it another way, you can't afford the speakers you want right now, or the right speakers right now. You're going to settle for something else that you can afford and postpone that other thing. And that's not a good plan. Wait till you've saved up enough money or can get the money together to buy the thing you want. But if you can't afford what you want, don't do a sideways move. Maybe you could get room treatment to improve the sound of your current speakers, or better speaker stands, or something to sort of tide you over. But if you can't afford what you really want, don't buy new speakers. Number 3, if you want a new sound, I have very simple advice for you. Move your speakers. If you move your speakers, yes class, away from the wall or further away from the wall, you will get a new sound, and probably a better sound. Or you could try moving them closer together. A lot of people have their speakers placed too far apart. Or maybe you could put them on a different wall in that room, or maybe a different room. And you do any of those things, and you will get a surprisingly new sound from your old speakers. So you don't need to buy new speakers or upgrade speakers to get a new sound. It's already there for you, and it's free. Number 2 is space out your purchases. If you bought a speaker 3 years ago or 2 years ago or a year ago, it's probably too soon, assuming you basically like the speaker you have, because things don't change that quickly. Now, of course, it is my job to tell you about all the exciting new speakers that are coming out, and just because I say it or some other reviewer says it doesn't mean you have to jump on it, right? So yeah, wait. Just wait. I just think living with what you have is always good advice, assuming you basically like what you have, right? Just settle down. I don't mean settle as in just take any old thing, but if you put a lot of time and thought into buying your current set of speakers, stick with them for a while. A good 3 years, I think, is a good place to say that's a minimum time to elapse before you pounce on the next thing. So now we'll get to the number one reason not to upgrade your speakers or buy new speakers, and it is simply this. If you like your current speakers and you know from experience now that they work well in your room with the speaker placement you already have, with the electronics you already have, with the music that you want to listen to, and they play loud enough or they play quietly enough, and they make enough bass and they image well enough. In other words, if they check enough of those boxes, you're actually taking a risk that if you bought a new speaker, that it would do all of those things as well as what you already have. Just because it's gotten reviews doesn't mean that it'll be the right speaker for you. And I'm saying this as a reviewer, right? So it is my job to search out new stuff, but it doesn't mean that the thing you bought 6 months ago or 2 years ago, no. If you like what you got, stick with what you have. This is the best advice of all. Now, of course, the opposite is true. If you don't like it, and it's not working in your room, and it doesn't do a lot of things you want it to do, well, then those are the reasons you should be looking for a new speaker. That is the time to be watching reviews on YouTube or reading reviews on magazines or website, and try to zero in on what might possibly be the right speaker for you. It's not about what speaker's getting the most rave reviews and everybody's talking about it. That isn't necessarily the right speaker for you. It has to work in your room, and et cetera, et cetera. So the best speaker is the right speaker for you and your room and your tastes. Yes, it is. So now I'm going to introduce this new segment, the viewer system of the day. Please don't send any more pictures right now. I got plenty. I don't need more pictures. But anyway, I'm going to show you this system, and then I'll come right back. This is Robert's system. He's running Martin Logan ML13A electrostatic speakers. The amps are Conrad Johnson Premier 5 monoblocks, Conrad Johnson ET3 preamplifier, the turntable LP12 with a Lingo power supply and a Lin Ecos tone arm, with a Dynavector DRT XV1 moving coil cartridge. DAC is a Schiit Gungnar multi-bit. Blu-ray player is an Oppo BDP 95, and for streaming, a Sonore Rendu running Roon. The Room was designed by Randy Sparks of RLS Acoustics and built in 1991. The room is acoustically isolated from the rest of the house once the doors are closed. Okay, so my name is Steve Guttenberg. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show. If you like what I do here, please consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. To do that, super easy. Hit that button right down there. When you do, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time there's an amazing new episode. Speaking of amazing, you could check out my Patreon at patreon.com/audiophiliac, and you could also check out the playlists for speaker reviews in case you're in the market, speaker reviews and headphone reviews and electronics reviews, and of course music reviews plus interviews. Those are all on the playlist. So if you want to access my playlist, you have to watch the show on a tablet, a mobile device, or a home computer. And it's right there on the top of the main page, a list of playlists. And now I can say my work here is at last complete. Thank you again for watching, and I really, really do hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Bye-bye.